autism is of highly industrialized and developed countries has been debunked by research findings that reveal that the neurological challenge cut across geographical and cultural settings. In Nigeria, research into autism is limited, despite that the first study in the country among children with intellectual disability was conducted as far back as 1978 by Lota. This study was also done in other sub-Saharan countries like Ghana, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and South Africa. Since then, only pockets of studies have been conducted in various modes in the country. Yet there is a growing concern among nations, medical professionals and other stakeholders over the rise of autism spectrum disorder (ASD), which has made stakeholders in the country to demand for urgent attention to the situation in terms of enlightenment, early diagnosis, care, and service, beginning from children, their condition that has ostracized them from social acceptance and inclusion, creating huge difficulty in the academic pursuit, access to skill acquisition and employment. With this background, even now in the country, children with autism are considered intellectually challenged. And this has led such children to being deprived of maternal care and spiritual causation, holding sway as explanation to their condition. The tendency to group them into such categories, especially at the rural areas where awareness is low, is what we will be talking about on Panorama today. Also, we will want to know what autism is, what is the difference between autism and other neurological challenges, and what should be done to increase awareness level in various parts of the country. I am Adeola Komiakere, thanking you for joining us on Panorama today. Remember, you can follow this news broadcast on our various social media platforms. We'll be right back. The Nigerian Army has confirmed what it described as minor explosion that occurred within the Army cantonment in Ikeja, Lagos this Monday, 1st of April 2024. In a statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Major General Oyema Wachuku, says the incident occurred on a farmland near the Mami Market within the cantonment. The explosion was suspected to have been triggered by the burning of refuse and other flammable debris by a farmer. Fortunately, no casualty was recorded. The Army assures the public that the situation is under control as the explosive ordnance disposal team has cordoned off the area for thorough investigation and urged residents in the area not to panic. And meanwhile, report just reaching us says President Bola Tinubu is one of the special guests at the inauguration ceremony of Senegal's president-elect. A statement by the presidential advisor on media, Ajuri Ngelale, indicates that the president's one-day trip to the West African country is on the invitation of the Republic of Senegal's President Tinubu, who is the chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, is alongside other regional leaders witnessing the inauguration this Tuesday at Diamniadio Exhibition Center. And moving on now, fire has razed parts of Owode Market in Ofa, Kwara State in the early hours of Tuesday. Fire servicemen responded swiftly to contain the fire from spreading to other parts of the market. Although no life was lost, valuable stocks of items running into millions of naira were lost to the inferno. Still talking disaster, Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Dauda Alibiu has directed Kogi State Sector Commander of the Corps to commence a detailed investigation into the multiple road traffic crash that occurred on Sunday, 31st March 2024 at Obajana Market in Kogi State. According to him, with the recent collaboration between the Corps, the Nigeria Bar Association, as well as state judiciaries, the drivers responsible for these occurrences will not go scot-free, but be prosecuted in accordance with the provisions of the National Road Traffic Regulations 2012, and those found guilty will bear the consequences of their actions. Preliminary reports indicate that the crash involved a total of 4 vehicles comprising 2 Dangote trucks, 1 Sharon bus and 1 motorbike. The crash was caused by brake failure of one of the trucks while on excessive speed and crashed into 3 stationary vehicles, including a bus carrying 12 passengers. The impact of the crash resulted in a fire outbreak that killed the 12 passengers in the bus and the motorbike rider. The crash involved 15 people, comprising of 8 male adults and 3 female adults, 3 male children, and 1 male female child. And 2 other reports. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has released the domestic base price DPB and applicable wholesale price of natural gas for strategic sectors. Authority Chief Executive Farouk Ahmed, who signed the letter transmitting the domestic base price of $2.42 per million British thermal units, said the base price and applicable wholesale natural gas price for the strategic sector is in line with the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act, which provides a clear regulatory framework for the determination of a market-based pricing regime for the domestic gas market in Nigeria. As prescribed in the PIA, the authority chief executive emphasized that going forward, the price of natural gas must be at a level to bring forward sufficient natural gas supplies for the domestic market on a voluntary basis by the upstream producers. Other principles that guided the determination of the domestic base price, as explained, include that the price shall not be higher than the average of similar natural gas prices in major emerging countries that are significant producers of natural gas. The authority maintained that the new domestic base price was arrived at after due consultation with key stakeholders, as well as the gazetted gas pricing and domestic demand regulations. A cross-section of people in Anambra State have commended the federal government for the palliatives rolled out to cushion the effect of the economic hardship occasioned by the fuel subsidy removal in Nigeria. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports.
Record between 9 and October 1, 2023, federal government of Nigeria and at least 9 palliatives to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal. The support sectors like agriculture, transportation, workers' welfare, and so on to reduce the economic and social hardship subsidy removal is. In Anambra State, though the initial palliative was given to the state government, some supporters of President Tinubu's government and other political were also on top of the game to make life more meaningful for the populace with the distribution of rice and other items.
The federal government last year gave 2 billion naira to also delivered over 19,000 bags of rice and maize alongside. We had a committee which the governor constituted to ensure that the rice got to every kindred. So the state last year, we had a cash award that went to all civil servants, even pensioners, which was paid till December. We had a program, the 1 U2 skill was also part of our own way of trying to, and 4,000 youths were actually, some of them got as high as 400,000 as capital to plow into their businesses.
Let me use this opportunity to first of all appreciate the responsiveness of Mr. President. We thank him so much. That palliative in one way or the other has in one way or the other assisted the Nigerians to cushion the effect of the economic realities we find ourselves.
Appreciate it, but rice is better than that 12,000. You know, you cannot afford bag of rice 12,000. You understand me? But when they give them the rice, they are very happy.
With sectors like manufacturing, agriculture, transportation, and business getting 500 billion naira, while workers and selected households received 35,000 and 25,000 naira respectively for a period, concerned citizens of Anambra State speak more.
This year, we're actually stepping up most of these things. We have the 1 U 2 skill, which is the program is ready. We have another micro enterprise support scheme, which is a grassroots program to actually support people at the Anambra at the grassroots level. We also have tax exemptions the governor has given, especially to small businesses, is still ongoing. The only thing that I know the government has stopped was around the cash awards, and that's because we are at the heart of the new minimum wage conversation. So that is actually what we are waiting to kick off, so that we migrate from what used to be to the new salary structure to the state, to the new minimum wage. But from the federal government palliative, everything has been implemented to the letter, and the directives are fully being complied with.
Before the minimum wage becomes a reality, that palliative should continue to be paid to Nigerian workers. That's the special appeal we are making.
Majority of the masses didn't benefited from that program. I think they should upscale it. You know, they should do it more. The poverty is still on.
With the President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda in place, expectations are that Nigerians will continue to enjoy the dividends of democracy and good governance. In Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
Sporting news.
The Super Falcons of Nigeria continue their build-up ahead of Friday's 2024 Olympic Games qualifier against the Bayana of South Africa. The spirit at the Abuja camp of the Falcons is high, with eyes fixed on picking the maximum points at stake. The Super Falcons welcomed Bayana to the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja, on Friday before both teams clash in Pretoria 5 days later. The winner will join Brazil, Japan and Spain in Group C at the Olympic Games in Paris in July and August. In badminton, Ogun State has emerged champions of the second edition of the Southwest Badminton Championship held at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, Lagos. 40 badminton players from the Southwest Zone took part in the competition in 8 categories. In the women's singles final, Nigeria's #1, Dorcas Adeshokan of Ogun State, retained her title with victory over Jumoke Obasami of Lagos State, while Emmanuel Ogunsomi beat fellow Lagosian Daniel Christopher to win the men's singles event.
If every zone we are able to do this, you can imagine winners that were emerged from this competition will be able to now come at a national level. That's the only way. We must look for a way to discover young talents at a very young age.
In golf, it is the dawn of a new era at the Ikoyi Golf Club ladies subsection as veterans and super veterans warm up for the first ever Veterans Invitational Tournament. The lady captain Fatumata Koka says the tournament is part of new innovations to make the game more popular in Nigeria.
It's our way of saying we honor you, we hail you, well done. You know, this is all about you.
It's going to be a great event. There are other programs we have lined up. In actual fact, there is one I didn't mention, the Memorial Kitty for our departed brothers and sisters.
The tournament tees off on Thursday, 4th of April at the club's golf course. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
And sports wraps up Panorama from Lagos. Thanks for watching. I am Adeola Komiakere.